Hey, Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. Today, I wanted to talk about some recent pieces of information that are coming out, and again, I'll tell you exactly what I mean by six sources are cited as. So many of you know, and we've covered that Pelosi is supposed to visit Taiwan, and in that trip, that has been something that has been very controversial, and including, of course, Xi's country does not want it to happen. They have threatened forceful measures. They've basically said, this is not okay. We don't want you to do it. Now there is information saying that they may try to impose a no-fly zone. The administration officials in Xi's country have also said that essentially they may accompany Pelosi's flight, which is pretty big if you think about it. She is third in line to be president. If anything happened to the top two, she would be, of course, the president. So she is a very high official. Being the Speaker of the House, she, of course, also can do a whole lot of official business. So when she goes to Taiwan, they don't want that to happen. They don't know what she's actually doing. She could be very well doing, some sort of deal with Taiwan. And I'm sorry, I'm getting eaten up by mosquitoes out here, and it's pretty bad. And it's going to get dark, so I don't know how much time I have here, but six sources are saying that essentially they're worried about them doing this no-fly zone and possibly accompanying her plane. I would say with everything that has happened over the last couple days, including our president essentially coming down with the stuff and being out of the public eye for the most part, that there's a small chance that something is possibly going on. We, of course, found out that there were subs off of the coastlines, which, again, I kind of figured that something was going to happen off of the west and east coast, and I actually don't think that the most of it has even happened yet. Unsubstantiated rumors and what the chitter and the chatter is as far as going around the military groups and the people that are former and active military, they're all saying that we're at the highest alert possible. I don't know if that is true, but if you look at the world around us and what is happening, that could be realistic. But how much, is that a scary thing, or is that a being safe or overly cautious? As far as this flight goes, when this happens, this is something to watch out for, and most people are not going to be paying attention. They're going to be distracted by all sorts of different things. I would highly recommend paying attention to what happens when Pelosi does this flight, or if something magically happens and she cancels the flight, which, again, the first time when she was supposed to do this trip quite a few months ago, she actually came down with the stuff. And she did not continue that trip. And even back then, there was threats and different things and saying, we don't want you to do this. And then, of course, she came down with the stuff, and then they didn't do it. A lot of things have changed since then. So again, we don't know what will actually happen here. So I'd highly recommend paying attention to that. I will attach the articles to marfooglenews.com so you guys can do that. And again, I appreciate every one of you paying attention and watching. HRH, Tracy Gale, Virginia Olson, Donnie, Liz C., thank you guys for popping in. And make sure to share this out with as many people as possible. The time frame on all of this is basically we're waiting for this trip to Taiwan. Obviously, the Taiwanese military, if you did not know this, they have been handing out citizens pamphlets on how to prepare for a conflict, where to go, what shelters to see. If this happens, this is one conflict rather than the UKR situation where we're sending gear and everything else, where the president, whether it be a gaffe or not, has said that they would directly jump in the middle of, and they said that they would fight Xi over Taiwan. We know that the B administration has come out and essentially said that we're going to go back to made everything in America. Everything's going to be made in America again, which, I mean, you can kind of get the obvious on that. And then, of course, also said that Intel is going to be making a semiconductor chip factory here inside the U.S., which If you know why Taiwan is important, it's because of their semiconductor chip factory. And it's the amount of stuff that's coming from there. But there's still problems. If we do go to conflict with China, one, it's going to be the largest scale conflict in our lifetimes, and two, they do control a huge amount of resources, and resources that we do not have access to. Lithium is one of them. Most of you guys probably noticed if you tried to order an energy solar generator, when we first started working with them, it was like a 6-month waiting list. And that was because of certain parts inside the lithium batteries. Lithium is a resource that is highly kind of fought over right now. And then, of course, the antibiotics, every 97%, almost all of the pharmaceutical ingredients, the active pharmaceutical ingredients inside of the antibiotics, that is all coming from Xi's country. How we got in this position, I have no idea, and I think people were just being plain idiots. But again, that's where we're at right now. So as preppers and somebody myself, we're looking at our plans and looking at, just in case something went wrong. I hope that people don't, sell their houses and go, bury themselves in a bunker, at least not yet. But I would think that people should be talking to family members and looking at it as a realistic scenario that something may happen inside and outside the U.S. People are, very grandiose about how, our military is and everything. But at the same time, they know that our military has been falling behind because of purposeful decisions done by our government. So, there's of course one thing to be patriotic and say we've got the biggest, baddest military in the world. And I do believe we do have, again, one of the most amazing militaries in the world. And we've got crazy technology and everything else. But after talking to active and retired military folks right now that are active, they're even saying they cannot believe the technology they're getting updates on that Xi has. Xi is ahead of us in AI, according to our own Pentagon. And by the way, AI and military, when they're mixed, are one of the most deadly combinations in existence. So they already have drone swarms, and they already have all sorts of information playing out on the West Coast. As far as they know how the layouts are, they've actually run ports out of our country for the longest time, and those ports aren't really bringing anything in, are they? That's why you saw last year and throughout CV, which again, if you look at the origins of that, where it possibly came from or where they're saying it came from, then you kind of start seeing like, okay, what is actually happening here? You see a lot of similarities between now and before WW2. And in fact, now people are actually drawing a lot of conclusions about how this is very close to what WW1 was like as well. So history does repeat itself. There's about a 100-year cycle on these crazy things. And if it's being responsible to prepare, it's not being crazy. And again, if you look at the root of why, even if you look at the root of where the word conspiracy theory came from, it came from, I believe, the CIA and the U.S. government trying to make people look crazy for preparing. But again, you can fix that in the comments if you have something to fix that I said. But yeah, as far as talk to your family about what is going on, people say, Red Dawn, Red October. Most people are just, it's burned into their brain that none of that could ever happen here. Nobody thinks, oh, this could happen here. Nobody ever says, everybody is surprised. You see it on every news station across the country. When, any kind of bang, bang event happens, they go, I just can't believe it happened in a little town like mine. I can't believe it happened here in this quiet little town. Every quiet little town has the most disturbing things happen on a daily basis. It's called humanity, and we're all messed up. So I hope that you guys appreciated this. I hope that you get the message out about people paying attention to when Pelosi does go, if she does end up going to Taiwan. And then also be paying attention to what has been going on with Xi, rather than Vlad. Vlad has been meeting with different countries, including the Ayatollah of I ran to the store. And of course, he has met with Kim in the recent years. He's met with Cuba. He's met with all of the people that would basically gather up and go against us. So it seems like they're kind of setting sides. So pay attention, keep your head on a swivel. Don't be afraid. You shouldn't be afraid. Right now, you should be looking at reasonable kind of solutions for things that could happen. And that's what most people are doing right now. It's just like having insurance on your car, or insurance on your house, or insurance on your life. Most people don't have insurance on their food. Most people have 3 days worth of food in their fridge, and that's pretty disturbing, to be honest. So if you want to get extra food, gosh, you can see them. I just smushed like 4 in one swipe. Sorry guys, there's like water near here somewhere, and the mosquitoes are getting me. Go over to marfooglenews.com/prep. You can get yourself long-term survival food and MREs. MREs are becoming increasingly hard to get, and that there's, again, lower supply, higher demand, especially since CV started in 2019. MREs have been steadily going up in price. If you go over to marfooglenews.com/prep, you can find MREs in kits of, anywhere from 72 hours all the way to 3 months. And then again, you can also go get yourself a generator, which I highly recommend, a solar generator by Energy over at marfooglenews.com/energy. When you go and purchase through us, essentially it helps us with a commission, and it helps us keep growing. And eventually it will help us bring on more people and actually have a staff and try to turn this into something that can change the world even more. So thank you guys. Much love. Thank you everybody for all of your prayers. Some of you know, but I had one brother that passed away from a, not my brother, but close family. Brother died of a motorcycle accident a few years back, and his brother, the only surviving brother, just got in a motorcycle accident, but luckily survived. So everybody was kind of scared there for a minute, because it's like, they lost one son to a motorcycle accident. To lose the other to a motorcycle accident would have been absolutely horrendous. So anyways, love you guys, and thanks for those of you that did kind of know about that and sent prayers, and I appreciate you guys. We will see you, and we'll be doing more videos. Make sure to stay tuned here, and then make sure to stay tuned over on Marfoogle TV, our other sister channel, where we do our live show. Also, you can use marfooglenews.com as an archive. If you type in Pelosi, if you type in Taiwan, you can type in pretty much any keyword, and you'll end up finding all of the previous articles we've talked about and the shows that they're in, so you can see it basically read out to you. One thing I would highly recommend looking at is history is repeating itself. Type that into the search bar, that show. We talked about a lot of this, and we made some predictions that are already coming true. So. And that's not our predictions, that's your predictions, and the help with the Marfoogle family. We've done this together. So love you guys, be safe, be prepared, and Marf out.